the story that scares the most powerful. Welcome to Wake Up Canada News. I'm Brad Wilder. This next article was researched by one of our Wake Up Canada News contributing reporters. They want you to think the big story is that some tribunal just declared the mRNA shots to be biological weapons. But that's the distraction. The real story, the one that keeps the people in power up at night, is that millions of ordinary people no longer believe a single word coming out of their governments. That's what this whole Alliance of Indigenous Nations Tribunal really represents. It's not about paperwork or legal definitions. It's about trust collapsing. See, once upon a time when the government or a scientist said something, people listened. But after years of lockdowns, censorship, and half-truths dressed up as official guidance, that trust cracked open. And when the people stop trusting the system, they start building their own. And that's exactly where we're at now. The Alliance of Indigenous Nations stepped forward and did what no global authority dared to do. They held their own tribunal and listened to evidence the world ignored, and then they made a declaration claiming mRNA injections were weapons of mass destruction. Now, whether you agree or not, you have to understand the power of that act. It was a line in the sand. It said, if our governments won't protect us, we will. That's what terrifies the establishment, not the words in the declaration, but the defiance behind it. Because think about it, Canada even acknowledged the alliance in a formal letter. Now the Crown Indigenous Relations Office wrote back and said they recognize a nation-to-nation relationship. The government probably thought it was just a polite gesture or a diplomatic nicety, but in reality, it lit a fire, because that one line was enough for people to see that sovereignty is not a permission slip. It's a declaration of independence. And once one nation stands up, others start paying attention too. First it was a letter, then a declaration. Next, it's a movement. People forget that power doesn't vanish. It transfers. When institutions lie or hide behind bureaucracy, that power flows back to the people who are willing to speak the truth out loud. And that's what's happening now. You can feel it everywhere. In the bills being filed like Minnesota's HF 3219, where lawmakers are actually considering calling mRNA injections biological weapons. You see it in the doctors, scientists, and ordinary citizens forming alliances outside of the traditional systems. It's like the people realized the courtroom doors were closed to them, so they built their own courthouse. And that's what scares them the most. Not some tribunal ruling on a PDF, but the realization that their authority no longer commands automatic obedience. Governments survive on belief. Currency works because we believe it has value. Courts work because we believe their rulings actually mean something. But what happens when belief collapses? When people see behind the curtain and realize the so-called authority is being built on convenience, not truth. That's the breaking point. The AIN Tribunal's declaration might not hold legal power across the world, but it holds something even more dangerous: moral power. The power of the people refusing to be silent. The power of communities rising outside the system, declaring if justice won't come from above, it will come from below. And that's what's spreading, quietly, globally, unstoppably. From indigenous nations to independent researchers, from small town councils to online truth networks, people are forming their own kind of order. A parallel world built on exposure, transparency, and human sovereignty. They can censor a post, they can discredit a tribunal, they can mock a community, but what they can't stop is a population that's no longer asking for permission to see the truth. That's the story that scares them the most. Not the declaration itself, but the awakening it represents. Because once people stop obeying out of fear and start thinking for themselves, the entire illusion of control crumbles. And that, right there, is the real revolution. One that doesn't need a courtroom or a headline. It's happening right now in the minds of people who finally decided to stop believing the lie. Thanks for watching Wake Up Canada News. Please like, share, and follow us on any of your favorite socials, including Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, X, BitChute, and our website at wakeupcanadanews.com. Till next time, remember you're the voice, and it's time to make it count. I'm Brad Wilder, and I'll see you again soon.